9.5 has been out for a few weeks now. To help you in your climb, we're going over one of the most consistent and flexible comps in the game that's playable no matter what items drop. Let's get started.
The early game starts by playing around 3 Demacia. You should look to have Galio hold the Radiant item as Radiant Redemption is broke in early game. Early boards can't handle the amount of healing it gives, so you're not likely to lose rounds. But if Poppy is 2-starred and Galio isn't, she's better off holding the Radiant item. Next, you can add in Milio and Kiana for 2 Ixtal, 2 Invoker. This will act as your early game shell. This comp is flexible, allowing for both AP carries and AD carries. So if you get any AP items, start the game by giving them to Milio, while AD items should be held by Kiana at this point. If you happen to find an early Nico, it's best to keep her on bench until you can also have a Quinn to hold the AD carry items. Now in the mid game, you really want to hit 5 Demacia ASAP and replace Kiana with Nico. Make sure to transfer the AD items to Quinn while Milio continues to hold AP items. The only difference between the early game board is the addition of Quinn and Sona. Now that you have Quinn, she should hold one of the Radiant items. Her item is Deathblade, which is excellent to provide big damage in the mid game. At this point, I still prefer Galio to hold on to the other Radiant item, but if you're getting a lot of tank components from carousels and neutral rounds, then let Sona hold it until you find a Jarvan or Fiora. Tank items will continue to go to Galio or Poppy for now, and remember to pick up at least one Warwick and hold him on bench, as he will be a great trait bot in the late game. Once you reach the late game, you want to commit all in at level 8 and roll down for several key units. Fiora, Jarvan, and Mordekaiser are your most important pickups. Once you have your 2 stars, you want to move on to level 9 for Heimerdinger and Aatrox. Milio will be replaced by Mordekaiser, who will then hold the AP items. Fiora should take any Bruiser items, which we'll discuss further in the item section. And as stated earlier, Quinn gets the AD carry items. Finally, your tank items should go to Jarvan. To round out the comp, you want to add in Warwick for 2 Challenger, 2 Juggernaut. If you can't find Warwick, any Challenger will do, but Neferi is second best for the 2 Darken power up. Now, Heimerdinger is an expensive unit to play, so don't get his turret upgrades until you 2-star your most important carries. As for which upgrades to get, you always want to get 2 Shrink Rays plus 1 Mechano Swarm. This gives you the most armor shred possible and synergizes with Quinn's ability, which increases damage taken to enemies hit. If you've made it this far, you're most likely already in top 4. Items, augments, and positioning will determine who takes first, so let's break that down. Now for damage items, there's 3 types you can build in this comp. First, we have big damage AD items, like Infinity Edge, Deathblade, and Giant Slayer. These should go to Quinn. Next, we have AD Bruiser items, like Bloodthirster, Titan's Resolve, and Steric's Gauge. These should go to Fiora. Keep in mind, both Quinn and Fiora always get Giant Slayer and Steric's Gauge as their respective Radiant items, so you only need to build 2 items for each of them. Lastly, we have Mordekaiser's items, which mainly focus around attack speed and AP. Gnasher's Tooth and Rapid Fire Cannon are his 2 best items, but really any AP items will do, such as Gunblade, Deathcap, or Jeweled Gauntlet. Mordekaiser's items are the lowest priority, but are useful for when you get a ton of AP components when running this comp. Now for tank items, Protector's Vow and Warmogs are great to have Jarvan cast multiple times in fights. His 3rd item will be his Radiant, so only build 2. Other good options include Dragon's Claw or Bramble Vest, depending on the lobby. Now for extra items, Shojin and Gintu's on Heimerdinger is the best option. Shojin allows him to get more stun in fights, and Gintu's is great because his turret shares his attack speed, allowing for faster armor shred. Now let's talk about augments. Slayer Soul makes it easier to hit 4 Slayer at level 8 and should be given to Fiora. Overall, it's not needed at level 9, but it's good in times where you can't go level 9. Long Distance Pals is a top tier choice, and I recommend sharing the AD stats between Fiora and Quinn for max value. Level Up is excellent for this comp, as it has a ton of high level units and shines best at level 9. Healing Orbs provides huge value here, as both Fiora and Mordekaiser will be in melee. Scoped Weapons provides a huge damage boost for Mordekaiser, as well as Quinn. If you get this, prioritize their items first. Unified Resistance provides excellent tank stats to the whole team and works great with the Demacia trait. As with most comps, item legends like Ornn and Ezreal provide the most value. A case can be made for Aurelion Sol, as he allows you to hit a fast level 8 and 9 for earlier rolldowns. However, it does feel like a gimmick that will not always work, so it's best not to force it and stick to item legends. Positioning for this comp is extremely simple. You want Heimer's turret near the middle or line up on the same side as Fiora to shred resistances. Always keep Sona in one corner so that she cuts across the board and boosts everyone's attack speed. If possible, put Heimerdinger himself next to Sona so he and his turret gain the attack speed boost as well. Finally, you want Jarvan on the same
same side as enemy backline, as he'll jump to the back and provide a huge lockdown. Next, keep Aatrox next to Fiora or Mordekaiser, because when he has no items, he's a great early sacrifice to move his Darken buff over to either carry, depending on who is holding the most items. Aside from that, just make sure to avoid rogue dives onto Quinn and you should be fine. Did this guide help? Leave a comment and tell me how you do. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.